welcome to my garden and the dinosaurs who live there. We are on the 10th of August and I think this is probably going to be one of the last summery days that we have this side of the year. Maybe not, but it's looking that way. So I thought it was a great opportunity to get out in the garden and do as much as I can do. And what I want to do first is to prick out these brassicas that I'm growing for overwintering and pop them into bigger cell trays, and we'll grow them on for a little while in the cell trays and then pop them out into the beds that they're going to overwinter in. So I have broccoli marathon, which is this first one. We have cauliflower all the year round, which is the middle, and we have, not a brassica, I've actually got some romaine lettuce that I'm going to try and grow on as well. I want to keep the lettuce production going as long as possible, because as well as myself eating it, I feed it to my chickens and quail to give them a bit of greenery. So yeah, we'll transplant these romaine lettuce as well. So yeah, let me get organised and I'll show you what I do. So for the brassicas, what I'm going to do is put them into this cell tray here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4 sevens, 28 cells. I've filled them up with a combination of peat-free multi-purpose compost and a little bit of vermiculite through it. That's the little white bits you can see there. And the vermiculite is in there to help drainage and to lighten up the sort of the density of the compost. I think sometimes when you put in compost into these little cells, it can get just a bit too dense. And I like to have the vermiculite in there to make it easier for the roots to establish and work their way through the compost in each of these cells. And I'm going to, just before I get started, I'm going to give this a light water. I have filled it, and I've not pushed very hard down on the cells. I have just filled it, and then I've done this a couple of times just to sort of let it settle. I'll water this a little bit, and then I will start transplanting the little seedlings one to a cell. Okay, let's start off with the broccoli. Let's see, this is Marathon F1. And I'm just going to use my trusty trusty plastic dibber. And actually I can just pull out everything from that cell. Oh, excuse me. And the idea is just to loosen up this root ball so that we can release each individual seedling, and you should be able to see there's quite a nice root system there. And then we make a hole, drop this in. I quite like it to go as deep as possible to give it support. And that's one in, and I'll carry on with the others. Okay, now we're going to go on to the cauliflower and see how we get on with that. Same principle. Actually, let's start there. Just fish them out and get them in. Okay, so that is the brassicas, the cauliflower and the broccoli transplanted. I'm going to pop this back into the grow house down on the patio outside the kitchen, and I'll let them grow on there for a little bit until such a time as they're ready to transplant. I'll pop that there, but I'll just need to keep an eye on the chickens because they'll be like eyeing it up. Right, now for the romaine lettuce. I'll get these pricked out into another cell tray, and again I'll put it down in the grow house on the patio. So this bed here did house my garlic and onions, and then I transformed it once they were harvested into a brassica bed, and I did start growing some brassicas. It was sort of the sort of tail end of the brassicas that I had sown, so they didn't do that great, but I did get a little bit of calabrese out of here. Now what I've done is I've pulled everything out, and I have added some compost and some chicken manure pellets, and now I'm going to, for the first thing I'm going to put in here, I'm going to put in this kohlrabi. This is called kohlrabi azure star, and as you can see I've grown them on in cells, and I'm now going to pop them into this bed. They're still quite small, but I think they should be okay. Famous last words, but I don't have too much of a problem with slugs and snails, but we'll see. Anyway, I shall pop them in here and then close up the net, and hopefully they'll be comfy, cosy and grow on through the winter.